Step into the realm of the paranormal on Till the Last Drop, a show that blends paranormal stories and events with a themed drink.
Welcome back to Till the Last Drop. Now, this one may not be a scary paranormal story, however, it is still paranormal in some sense. Due to this festive time of year, we're going to take a closer look at one of the most beloved characters. It's hard to tell sometimes. His anagram could be Satan, but everybody else calls him Santa.
Mm-hmm. Old Saint Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of paranormal. I mean, why not, right?
He's supernatural, maybe.
Yeah. Well, there's no way that anybody who's that size can move around that quickly. That's paranormal.
Again, supernatural. He's got
Superpowers.
Yeah.
Superpowers. Yeah. Super Santa.
He's got special powers.
Other than that, we're also going to be going into a somewhat of a festive drink, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So, do a, what are you thinking this time? A hot chocolate with a peppermint and something else?
Yeah, maybe a little extra adult version of hot chocolate.
Yeah, it should be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get this going.
Mm-hmm.
The dead will rise, so they can hear more content from Till the Last Drop.
All right, we've all heard about Santa Claus, the ethereal being in red that just magically appears in your house, giving you gifts and eating your food. I mean, it sounds suspicious. Let's be completely honest about this.
Okay, I don't think he magically appears. From what I was always told when I was a kid, he comes by sleigh and flying reindeer, and he lands on your roof, and then he shimmies down your chimney, out your fireplace, with his sack of stuff, of toys, handmade gifts by his elves, his slave labor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And he eats food from your home.
Place the offering for the Santa.
Mm-hmm. To fuel his evening of breaking and entering. And then he leaves trinkets.
Yes.
If you were good.
Yes.
And if you were bad, he leaves you coal.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Or his sidekicks will torture you in some way. I say sidekicks because there has been multiple.
Mm-hmm. And then he leaves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, old guy flies to your home after spying on you all year and surveilling your antics and deciding to, pass judgment on you.
Yeah.
And then he breaks into your home, and then you have to leave an offering in order to appease him.
Yes.
And then, depending on your behavior, he will either leave you something good or something bad.
The Santa sacrifice has been accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I guess a little bit of the background of this character that we've heard is he can be traced back about hundreds of years to a monk named Saint Nicholas. He believed that he was born sometimes around, let's say 280 AD, BCE, whatever you'd like to call it here, in Patara, near Mira, the modern-day Turkey. Much admired for his kindness. Saint Nicholas became the subject of many legends. It is said that he gave away all of his inheritance and wealth and traveled the countryside helping the poor and the sick. Well, that's kind of like your general good news story anyway. I mean, like, hey, this guy, he's got all this stuff that he needs to do, so he's gonna give up everything and he's gonna be like the nicest person in the world. Sounds like a good legend.
He sounds like a stand-up dude.
I mean, I'm not saying anything bad against it. I'm just saying that's how these kind of stories always start.
Yeah. So. Or they start out where they're like a garbage person and then somebody intervenes and they see the
just
light.
Cleaning up the streets, ma'am.
No, not like that. Like they're just a bad person, but then, ghosts come and show them the error of their ways and then they become better.
Yeah.
Isn't that how one of those stories
Well,
in particular went?
Yeah. I mean, in this case, one of the best known stories from him is that he saved 3 poor sisters from being sold into slavery or prostitution by their father by providing them with a dowry so they could be married.
Oh.
Because, it's one or the other, be married or be a prostitute.
Oh.
That's the choice back in those days. It's one or the other.
Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it great?
Gosh.
History is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did his thing a bit around that and all that. Apparently, there was a feast that was celebrated for the anniversary of his death back when he died. December 6th is what it was traditionally thought to be his death date.
Okay.
Let's see. By the Renaissance, he was the most popular saint in Europe, even after the Protestant Reformation, when the saints began to be discouraged. He maintained positive reputation, especially in Holland. So I'm not 100% on the popularity of Holland. Not as the country, but like the popularity of Santa within Holland. I suppose he does seem to be kind of, I don't know. I kind of think of Holland when I think of Santa in some sense.
I'm going to be honest. I don't often think of Holland in general, so I'm nothing against Holland. It's just not at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, well.
But I also don't think of Santa often, so maybe that correlates
maybe that's
to
the
each
first
other.
problem.
Maybe
You need to think of Santa more.
I don't want to think of Santa more.
Well, just for 1 month. That's how it goes.
I think that's part of the problem is like everybody focuses on, you have to be good because, Santa.
Yes.
And so kids tend to be bad for, 11 months. And then that 1 month, they're like, I'm going to be extra good. And that's going to make up for the 11 months of bad.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
No.
But, that's kind of how it is.
But that's what I think a lot of parents use that. And I get it. Like, I get using that.
Yeah.
But, I think it gets overused sometimes to, get that month reprieve of, bad behavior. Like, I just want this 1 month, kid.
Yeah.
Give me this 1 month where you're good.
Yeah, well, kind of breaking away from the history of things and all that. It's like, at the same time, I don't know how many people would actually just be like, you've been bad, we're canceling Christmas or anything like that. So
there's been stories, though.
Stories, yes. But has anybody witnessed one of these said stories come to fruition?
My sister's cousins, brothers, friends, roommates, aunts.
Woo! NASCAR! I don't.
That's always like that, right? Anyways.
Yeah. I heard from a guy who knows a guy who heard it from his friend who heard it from the guy in the gutter that said that the guy that kicked him out of the bar told him that the other man that he was talking to said that his wife once heard a story from his sister that the Santa Claus was coming to town. Kind of like that.
So you better not.
There you go. That's actually the new Christmas song.
I would never remember that. But yeah.
It's actually sung in a 15/16 time.
Oh.
And it kind of changes key signatures quite frequently.
Are you learning from Frank Zappa for this? Channeling your inner Zappa?
The Frank Zappa Christmas special.
That would not surprise me.
Sounds like fun, actually. He does a lot of Halloween stuff from what I've seen. But anyway, jumping back into when Santa made his invasion into the United States, it looks like he became more of a part of American popular culture towards the end of the 18th century. Mm-hmm. So in December of 1773 and again 1774, a New York newspaper reported that groups of Dutch families had gathered to honor the anniversary of his death. Mm. The name Santa Claus evolved from Saint Nick.
Nick, we're on casual terms with him.
It evolved from his Dutch nickname Sinterklaas, a shortened form of Sint Nicholas, or Dutch for Saint Nicholas. I tried to just abandon the accent, of which I have no idea what a Dutch accent would be. So sorry.
Neither do I.
I can't match it. So let's see. In 1804, John Pintard, a member of the New York Historical Society, distributed woodcuts of St. Nicholas at a society's annual meeting. The background of the engraving contains now familiar Santa images, including stockings filled with toys and fruit hung over a fireplace.
Fruit hung over a fireplace.
Yeah. Well, the commercially made like candies and all that weren't as, what was this, 1804?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they were so much commercial as it is now. So I'm sure like putting sweets out or something probably wouldn't be as noticed, or maybe baked goods. So it seems like fruit might have been like.
I understand fruit. It just, to me, I imagine, well, and the fireplace probably wasn't lit because,
Yeah.
Santa coming down or whatever. I don't know if that had come into play yet, but to me, I imagine the fruit getting gross hanging above a lit fireplace. That was the mental image I got. That's why I questioned it.
Well, it comes from tradition too. Actually, now that I think about it, like 1804 wasn't too far out. I mean, it's possible that they could have had it, but I think fruit might have been something more traditional to the standard holiday festivities, if you will.
Right.
So like, and this also coming back from like Yule and all that too. So since like Christmas was adapted from the pagan, but anyway. So
I thought it was religious.
the idea behind it is religious, but the practice of it now is nowhere near the.
Are you
the
trying
religious
to take the
backgrounds.
Christ out of Christmas?
No, but Xmas is also a shortened abbreviation for Christmas. So to say that Xmas is not like, it's like heresy or something, whatever you want to say, sacrilegious. There's the term. It's actually false. So just throwing that out there for a little bit of new age information for anyone.
Now you know.
Yeah, it's true. Go look it up.
Well, and I mean, if you really think about it, the X, they say now that they believe that the cross that Jesus was crucified on was actually an X-shaped cross.
Maybe.
I've looked in, or I've seen a bunch of studies about that. They think that the crucifixion crosses might have been X-shaped. There's a lot of people that back that belief. So really, since Christians like to have that crucifixion as their symbol of Jesus,
Yeah.
isn't putting the X in
A symbol of death would be.
isn't putting the X in Christmas really putting more of their symbol of Christ in Christmas?
On a structurally, it seems like an X might be a little bit easier to work with because your distribution of weight would be over 2 points of contact on the bottom. So you're just going to have to focus on your main joint, which if it's two pieces that are like
It was
sectioned
easier
together.
for them to put up. It was easier for them to keep up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of science to it. I watched some weird documentaries.
Interesting how we've somehow gone from Santa to the methods of killing people.
No, not killing people, crucifying.
They weren't dead before they got up there.
We're specifically talking about crucifying one dude.
Yeah, but there were many others.
But I was only talking about the one.
Okay.
So it wasn't killing people, it was killing person.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Anywho, going back to Santa.
Santa Claus.
Yes. Let's just skip on over to the shopping mall Santas. Try to get away from, I don't know. Let's go back to the commercialism of Christmas. That sounds a little bit safer, right?
Uh-huh.
Stay thirsty for the unusual with Till the Last Drop.
So let's see. Something here says that gift giving, mainly centered around children, giving children as gifts, has been an important part of Christmas celebration since the holiday's rejuvenation in the early 19th century. Stores began to advertise Christmas shopping in 1820, and by the 1840s, newspapers were creating separate selections for holiday advertisements.
So this is just capitalism.
Yeah, that, obviously companies are going to know. It's like, oh, it's Christmas season. It's time to give gifts. It's time to spend more money. Give your gift of happiness to somebody by giving them this new coat.
It's like the greeting card companies that, they say created all these. I know they didn't actually, so don't come at me. But they didn't create all these holidays, but they sure did encourage these holidays to like, oh, look, there's all these 20 different things that you have to buy a card for and give it to somebody.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What's interesting is about these holiday advertisements, it often featured imagery of the newly popular Santa Claus. Now, imagine that. Like, say you're trying to sell a pair of earbuds, and I'm not going to get into an ad because this is not supported in any way, but like, oh, maybe Ray J sells these earbuds, and maybe you're going to hear about that for the next, like, I don't know, few months that you're listening to any kind of content at all. Or, I don't know. Let's take it for an example. Who's popular right now? I don't know. I don't follow it. I don't care. But let's just say like some random sports player over here is like, I drink this drink and I shop over here. And then there it is. Like, think of like Sprite Cranberry. I mean, come on. We didn't have to have LeBron James as a weird like stop motion puppet. But
that was a thing?
It happened. Yeah, it did happen.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I blanked it out.
That was a couple of years ago anyway.
Thank God we don't have cable television.
But that is one of the reasons why this would be. They're kind of taking off the popularity of Santa Claus, and that's going to boost the popularity even more.
It's a spokesperson.
Yeah. And when considering that this is mall Santas, I feel like a lot more people were shopping at malls because it's easier to get
1841?
I suppose so. I mean,
they
actually,
had a mall in 1820?
Now, I'm not 100% sure. This just says stores, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a shopping complex.
Did they have like Montgomery wards back in 1820?
I don't know about that one.
Darling, I'm going to go to the Montgomery wards. Excellent. I must get the new...
I think they just called it Monty's back then. It was a lot more casual.
Monty's. Yes, excellent.
Let's see.
Go to Monty's.
In 1841, thousands of children visited a Philadelphia shop to see a life-size Santa Claus model. It was only...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It seems weird. It's like, hey, you want to go look at this block of wood that's painted and look like a guy? Yeah!
And then one day they realized, oh, wait, we could do that with a person.
Yeah.
What?
Well, what it says right here is like, it was only a matter of time before stores began to attract children and their parents with the lure of a peek at a live Santa Claus. Now, this sounds a little bit more risque than normal. It's like, are you tired of just the standard picture of Santa? We've got a live one for you.
Are you tired of non-moving Santa? Right here, right now, live Santa. Woo woo. What?
In the early 1890s, the Salvation Army needed money to pay for the free Christmas medals or free Christmas meals. They weren't giving out medals. That came later when they didn't want to feed anybody.
Here's your participation medal for being poor.
No fact on that one. Just ignore that one. Anyway, to pay for the free Christmas meals they provided to needy families, they began dressing up unemployed men in Santa suits and sending them into the streets of New York to solicit donations.
Horrible. I know this is like actually what happened, but it sounds so wrong when you just hear it like that.
I mean...
Hey, you, buddy, you got no job. Go beg.
It says
go on the streets and beg for money for us.
Well, it says those familiar Salvation Army Santas have been ringing bells on the street corners of America's cities ever since.
I know. I said, I know that this is real, and I know we've already started seeing them, and it's weird, but it's like this corporation was like, yo, poor dude.
Yeah, this is the actual history behind this too, which is just weird to think about. Exactly. It's like, hey, we need money. We're not going to like... Well, obviously they're not going to pay them because they say they're unemployed.
I get that they're the Salvation Army. I've heard some things about them. I'm not going to comment on them now. Yeah. I get that, they were trying to get money to pay for free Christmas meals for needy families. And I think that that's a great thing.
Yeah. I imagine that they probably paid the guys that were unemployed in some sense.
Right.
I mean, I don't like that this whole information was phrased that they have unemployed people ringing bells and be like, here, if you're going to stand on the corner anyway, you stand on this corner, you ring a bell. Don't touch the money.
It sounds terrible. It genuinely sounds like they got some hobos
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, this is our corner.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Don't confuse his sack with Santa's sack. Okay, this is different.
Oh, that sounded weird.
No,
I know, but
the
that
reference of
sounded
the sack
weird.
on the little stick
I
that they
know.
hold. You know, I don't remember what it's called.
It sounded weird,
Hobo
though.
bag or something. I don't know.
Yeah, hobo
stick.
bags.
I don't know. Hobo stick is different. No, that's a weapon. A hobo stick. That's what you use.
That's
to keep
what you
them at
get
bay.
shanked with.
Oh, okay.
A
Either
hobo
way,
stick.
let's see
Anyways,
what else we have here about the wonders of shopping mall Santas. Apparently the most iconic department store Santa is Kris Kringle
Oh,
in the
that's
1940.
a different
Well,
Santa?
this one is the most popular one.
He's the most iconic.
Yeah, iconic, popular, yeah.
That's different.
Well, I mean, this Kris Kringle is the 1947 classic Santa Claus movie, Miracle on 34th Street.
Mm-hmm.
So featuring a young Natalie Wood and Edmund Gwenn played Kris Kringle. He won an Oscar for that role, by the way.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
So that's kind of cool. A little bit of info on that. I really don't watch Christmas movies, so I can't like go into background of this.
Nah, but we are going to watch Home Alone this year.
That is a Christmas movie, and so is Die Hard.
That is a Christmas movie. You said you don't watch them, and then you're like, that one is.
Well,
like, I wasn't saying it wasn't.
That's because it's a little bit better. Plus, the music is kind of nice on it, too.
I was saying that is a Christmas movie, and we're watching it as a family. You will watch it with me. So, I'm going to kind of touch on this really quick. I think it's very interesting. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that something I talked about earlier.
Touching on a lot of stuff, aren't you?
I'm touching everything right now. I'm just going to get all up in there and touch it. Okay, so I think there's an interesting... Now, I thought of this when I was a kid, and I thought it was so clever. I don't know. I didn't tell anybody, but I was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was like the shit, I guess, for thinking of this. And I didn't really talk much about it. But then I come to find out apparently I was not alone in my thoughts on this. Like lots of people apparently made this connection. So I was not as cool as I thought. But, you know, there's a lot of people who, for them, Christmas is all about Christ, which I brought up. And that's fine. You know, religion's a very personal thing. I'm not going to talk about that. But then you have Santa, who, like, the whole idea of Santa is kind of a polar opposite of Christmas being, what is it, Christ's birthday? And that's what it's supposed to be for the church right then,
it's
right?
the observation of the birth, which is something that is not normally practiced, or it wasn't normally practiced back in the day when all of it happened. Normally, nobody would celebrate the birth of somebody within a saint or a religion or anything like that. They would go against it. They'd normally go off of like the death date.
Well, I was going to say they talked
when
about
they were a martyr and all that. So, and even in this case, it took a long time before Christmas was actually adapted for the birth of Christ.
They talked about, you know, even here they talked about celebrating Saint Nicholas's death date because he was a saint.
Wait, Saint Nicholas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They talked about his death. Like, it's not like, oh, we honor him on his birthday. No, they honored him on his death date. So yeah. I can see that. But all right, so they honor Christ on the 25th as his birth date or whatever. That's what it's supposed to symbolize, right? Yeah. I know that there's a lot of stuff stating that he wasn't actually born then, blah, 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 whatever. Again, not getting into that. So for a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people talk about how Christmas has veered from Christ and all this stuff because of the commercialization, because of everybody just wants presents and everybody's greedy and all this stuff. And Santa has taken the Christ out of Christmas. Like, that's a phrase that I've heard a lot of uber religious people use.
Yeah.
And I didn't really, I'm like, okay, whatever. Again, I was a kid when I heard all this stuff. And, you know, I happened to sit down and think about it one time, and I was like, I find that interesting. what if, Santa, let's think about Santa here. He is a man who came along and he wears all red. And, okay, no, he lives in the cold. But maybe he lives in the cold because he has a high body temperature.
Yeah.
And he needs to be in a cold environment to keep his temperature down. Because he's used to being somewhere where it's real hot. Or maybe because he's used to being somewhere where it's real hot, he prefers cold.
I know where this is going.
And so he came along and he's got kind of weird powers because, I feel like that would come with the territory. But he's got a bunch of little elves, which are kind of goblin-y looking guys, and they do his bidding, right? Right.
Well, they enjoy it too.
Yeah, they
live for the job.
They like doing what they're told from Santa. And really, his whole thing is to watch people, watch them to see if they're being good or bad. Right? And he takes away from what is seen as a pretty important religious date by making people fall to greed.
Yeah.
Which we know is one of those sins.
Yeah.
One of them 7 deadly ones, right? So we've got all of these things. And I mean, he did a really good job of taking over this whole holiday and making it like people go nuts with their weird greed and their Furbies and their like whatever.
Your Furbies and your Beanie Babies and your Tamagotchis. This is all 90s references.
It's weird. I'm old. Leave me alone.
And your Y2Ks.
That's right. I lived through that. Leave me alone. So, and then I thought, the thing that really cinched it for me was, and you brought this up, Santa. You only have to switch a couple letters around and it's Satan.
Yeah.
So.
Mystery revealed.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Would have gotten away with it too if he weren't for you meddling kids.
And I was like, really? I mean, he wasn't even hiding it. Like, he's like,
oh man, I got to get out tonight and I don't have my name picked out. You just, what do you think? He
just took the little
Santa?
No, he just took the little sticky letters off of his name tag and swapped them around.
Yeah.
Like, good enough.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to see me anyway. And then Cindy Lou, who happened to be up getting a glass of water.
He was texting too fast and accidentally the autocorrect changed it.
Oh, God, right?
It's like, oh, no, well, I'm playing it now. And then his catfishing game just turned into some massive, change of a holiday.
He's like, well, going to lean hard into this one. But no, I was like, well, that's an interesting little thought on all of that. That really, Santa's Satan. And he just came up here to screw with religious people and their holy day. And it's working. It's working really well because people are greedy. We're greedy.
Considering that, going back to, Santa was featured in, advertisements to basically sell things because he was popular. I mean, what better way? This, obviously, corporate greed and the use of Santa. I mean, obviously it makes sense. So at least it fits like that when I think about it like this. It's like
he played up, again, if you really lean into that, the 7 deadly sins, all he had to do was play up one. Greed. And he got humans. That was it. End of.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. But then again, he'll give you presents.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Whoa.
Or he'll give you coal. I mean.
But nowadays, is coal a bad thing to get? No.
Well, I don't know how I would utilize a piece of coal if I was given it. I could try to sell it, but I don't know what the market price is. I also don't know anybody who's going to be able to take a piece of coal and be like, oh, yeah, I can use this as fuel.
Okay, but Jack weirdly wanted coal at some point, so there's that.
Well, you can't do anything with it except look at it. So.
Yeah, I mean, we could
Could throw it around, I guess.
We could make a diamond.
My hands are already tired.
Oh,
I'm not
come on.
squeezing any more diamonds.
Any more?
Never mind.
Wait,
Moving on.
Where are
moving
these
on.
other
So-
diamonds?
So Santa Claus around the world.
These other diamonds. Boy, I better be getting good Christmas gifts. I'm feeling greedy, man. Come on.
Anyway, but before going into like the worldly Santa, which I guess could
Worldly Santa.
no, not worldly, worldly,
Worldly. The
worldly
worldly.
Santa. Oh, so dizzy. No, and again with like the whole department store and mall Santa and all that. The Macy's Santa has appeared in almost every Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade since it began in 1924. And fans of all ages still line up to meet the Macy's Santa in New York City at the stores around the country. Oh, and at the stores around the country.
I don't think I have ever met a store Santa. My whole life.
Apparently, at these stores, children can take pictures on Santa's lap and tell him what they want for Christmas.
Yeah, that's how it's always been. That's weird.
Put your child on this old man's lap.
I know that it's
Outside
not.
of Christmas, that's probably unacceptable.
Outside of Christmas, that's
Especially
real
considering they're
weird.
like unemployed.
Those ones aren't unemployed. They're employed as Santa.
Well, this was 1924 when it started, so you never know if he was actually an unemployed, like if his resume said, I'm an unemployed Salvation Army Santa. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, we want you to be Santa. You're still going to be unemployed, but we want you to be Santa.
I'm an unemployed Salvation Army Santa.
Yeah,
Like,
he just drew up
he's
his
just-
resume. He came like in his Santa suit because that's the only thing that he still
just
had.
goes from one Santa line to the other. He's Santa line hopping. He's
Yeah.
like, oh,
You know?
gotta go find another Santa line.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
unemployed Santa
Well,
coming through.
You know, once you get stuck in a career path, I mean, it's hard to change.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I'm a professional unemployed Santa.
Actually, isn't that what Santa is all but one day of the year?
You know, he has to have some hands in some big businesses if that's the case, because come on. I mean, you can't just go a year without working and then work one day. I mean, he has to be getting a cut out of this merchandise. Anytime his pictures are actually no, Coca-Cola. They paid him a good amount of money to have him featured back in the ads. That's true.
Santa's not getting paid for the day of work that he does.
He's salary.
Hey, who's paying him? Himself?
He gets paid from the larger companies that are using his likeness.
I was gonna say
Copyright.
he has to be getting paid because he's making the toys, supposedly.
Yeah.
So it's not like
He's doing quality control every
It's
day.
not
He's
like-
checking that list.
I mean, he has that, but he's not actually making them because he has slave labor that's making them for him.
Yeah, he's kind of overseeing it, which makes me wonder, does he have like other like manager slaves
He's
or
a-
manager elves?
He's supervising.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, then he might be part of the government, because we all know that any government employee, there's going to be 5 of them, and then one guy is going to be doing the work.
Wait, you mentioned the government. Can I touch on something really quick?
Sure. Is it about the birds that are drones?
Oh no, but that's a weird thing that we'll have to talk about at some point. That birds aren't real.
Yeah, that's come up plenty of times before. There's somebody that I worked with that has brought that up.
Really? Oh, nice.
Yep.
Okay, we'll talk about that. So, when we were looking for stuff on this, on Santa, I happened to come across something that I thought was really weirdly interesting. Did you know that Elf on the Shelf is alleged to be a government spying program?
I don't have anything to do with Elf on a Shelf. I prefer Snoop on a Stoop, but Elf on a
I
Shelf is
prefer
whatever.
Sloth on a Goth, but I'm old school. I mean, I guess Snoop is old school too. But so
That's the second time we've made reference to him.
I know. Where's that sponsorship? We don't. Snoop, come on. Anyways, no, like I thought this was funny. I didn't actually look too much into it, but yeah, apparently, those little elves that people have in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're part of a CIA program, I believe. Yeah, that was set up so that the government intelligence agencies could get information on people and families.
The best that you can get out of that would maybe be GPS location. There isn't some camera in an elf. I mean, obviously it's not moving around at night, but come on. Like, that's a bit out of the realm of reality. But then again, I mean, lizard people and drone birds and all these other conspiracies that have been going around. But, you know,
here is somebody's argument, I guess, about this was their comment in regards to this. Placing elves in individual homes is a terribly inefficient use of elf resources. So it makes no sense for Santa to do that, argues intelligence watchdog Vera watching you. Vera watching you.
Vera watching you.
Everybody knows Santa has the best surveillance system in the world. He doesn't need an elf in every house. So who is the evil mastermind behind this unsanctioned intrusion into our homes?
Yeah, Santa's got one of those, what was it, the sonic displays like in The Dark Knight. And Morgan Freeman actually works for him. And he's like viewing the whole thing because it goes off of everyone's cell phone. It actually transmits a high frequency pulse that goes back and it reads it and it gets the layout of the area that the phone is in. And they're all linked together so you can have a global thing where you can just zoom in and see what's going on.
Wow.
The Echo Net, if you will.
So I don't know how many people actually believe that, but I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
That, and it wouldn't surprise me if people actually believe that. I think they're weird. The elf on the shelf thing.
Yeah.
We don't have one. I also don't need more things that I have to do every single day.
Elf things.
I get that those things are fun for kids, but like, I have a lot I do every day.
Yeah.
I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. But yeah.
But no Santa for you.
No, it's no elf on a shelf.
Oh.
We still do Santa. Until they don't believe. And then we move on.
Yeah, and then we can get recognition for getting the gifts ourselves instead.
The night is dark. The spirits are restless. They demand to be poured until the last drop.
So Santa Claus around the world. He has been a well-traveled individual, I suppose. The 18th century America's Santa Claus was not the only St. Nicholas-inspired gift giver to appear at Christmas time. And yes, that is one word, Christmas time. There were similar figures and traditions. Christkind or Christ Kringle was believed to deliver presents to well-behaved Swiss and German children, meaning Christ child, Christkind, or Christkind. Could be Christkind, actually, if it's Swiss. Anyway,
Christkind?
he had holes in him. Is an angel-like figure often accompanied
really
by
bad,
St.
by the way.
Nicholas on his holiday
That's
missions.
so cheesy.
So apparently that's one of those like sidekicks that he had was the Christkind. Yeah, anyway, in Scandinavia, a jolly elf named Jultomten, I think it was. Jultomten, okay. Was thought to deliver gifts in a sleigh drawn by goats. English
Goats?
Yes.
Did they yell?
That's how they knew he was coming to town. Ah! Okay. English legend explains that Father Christmas visits each home on Christmas Eve to fill children's stockings with holiday treats. Pierre Noël is responsible for filling the shoes of French children. In Italy, there's a story of a woman
I
called...
don't want stuff in my shoes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just the various cheeses and stuff.
What is with you and cheese right now?
It's Christmas cheese.
What?
Anyway.
It's Christmas cheese.
Exactly. Christmas cheese.
That didn't answer my
Everybody
question.
needs to get the Christmas cheese to prepare their charcuterie boards for the New Year's. And there you go.
What is this?
In Italy...
This is not something we've ever done before. Once.
In Italy, there is a story of a woman called La Befana.
Ah.
a kindly witch who rides a broomstick down the chimneys of Italian homes to deliver toys to the stockings of lucky children.
That's interesting. That's the first time I've heard of chimney.
It's the first time I've heard of a witch that gives out presents.
Hey, lots of witch do. Sorry, lots
do.
of witch. Yes,
Witch you
do. Lots of witches do good things. Witches aren't all bad. I don't know why people think they are.
Well, this is an Italian witch, so chances are she's different. She's probably giving out, like, I don't know,
What?
Italian things.
Italian things.
I don't know.
Well, if
cheese.
She's
That's the Christmas cheese.
why is everybody giving out cheese in your world?
Because cheese is a good gift.
Do you need cheese?
Cheese is delicious,
Did
and
I
it is a good
get
gift.
you wrong presents this year?
No?
I didn't get you cheese.
I don't know, but I haven't found that cheese wheel yet, so I wouldn't know.
I didn't get you cheese. I feel like I need to return your gifts and just get cheese. Various cheeses and a
fine.
board.
Cheeses are delicious. Anyway,
So, anyways, this is the first one I've heard about a chimney. Maybe, and she comes down on a broomstick. So is she also cleaning your chimneys as she comes down? Because that's 2 for 1 and awesome.
and she sings.
Yes.
Chiru.
Chiru, chiray. I like this lady. We're living in the wrong country.
Let's see. There's also some of the traditions. Why not? Let's just cover some Christmas traditions too.
Oh.
In the United States, Santa Claus is often depicted as flying from his home to home on Christmas Eve to deliver toys to children. He flies on his magic sleigh, led by his reindeer. There's 8 of them, and then there's the outcast that somehow got involved as well.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and the most famous reindeer of all, Rudolph.
Yeah. I mainly remember them because I remember seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger run along with Sinbad to try to race to get to a radio station so that they could say the names and win that toy. So.
The Furby movie. I mean, it's not a Furby.
What?
It's not a Furby, but it's based on those kind of freaking trends.
Yeah. Put the cookie down.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's that kind of it's the movie that's about that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, terrible movie.
Didn't you make me watch it though?
No, I don't think so.
You did. Just like that Moon movie.
It is kind of interesting to see like the knockoff, like the drug den of Santas, all the mall Santas that are like peddling all the knockoff gifts and like doing resale and scalping people. That's kind of interesting.
They're scalping people?
Yeah, like
cutting their scalps off?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
Like-
scalping toys.
Yeah, like all of the
they're
graphics
scalpers.
stores now. Yeah.
Okay. That's different than scalping people.
Santas, yes.
Now they're cutting Santa scalps off.
And wearing them as their own.
Eh.
So
Buffalo
Santa,
Bill.
again, back onto the United States tradition of Santa Claus here. Santa enters each home through the chimney, which is why empty Christmas stockings, once empty socks, are often like hung by the chimney.
With care.
I guess so. You don't want to haphazardly like throw your stocking up.
I don't know. I'm just chucking them over there now.
Why not? See what sticks.
Yeah.
In hopes that St. Nicholas will soon be there. That is basically a quote from the
It is
Clement
literally.
Clark Moore poem. Stockings can be filled with candy canes or other treats or other small toys. Santa and his wife, Mrs. Claus, I suppose.
I don't know why she didn't keep her name.
I don't know. Whatever. Call the North Pole home, which is not very habitable. But anyway, and children write letters to Santa and track Santa's progress around the world. On Christmas Eve, children often leave cookies and milk for Santa. He might have type 2 diabetes, so be careful. By now, he probably does. Even though he is immortal, he lives in terrible pain all the time. And carrots to feed his reindeer on Christmas Eve. Santa Claus keeps a naughty list and a nice list to determine who deserves the gifts on Christmas morning. I just now realized how I said that. And parents often invoke these lists as a way to ensure their children are on their best behavior.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Invoke the list.
Invoking the list now.
These lists are immortalized in the 1934 Christmas song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
He's making a list and checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. I feel like that's a threat.
And then it goes into like...
He sees when you are sleeping.
Yeah.
He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
That's a threat.
It starts off as like a standard song, and then it seems like it got a little bit of inspiration from Sting at the end there.
And then it got dark real fast.
Yeah. Now, there is a little bit about the ninth reindeer, Rudolph, but that is not Santa.
Nope.
So I'm going to ignore that.
Some guy with a real bad cold.
Yeah.
This is Till the Last Drop, and you're listening to this next section on our tab.
So, really, it comes down to Santa is Satan. I mean, that's the gist of it. He's got weird, freaky-deaky powers. He hides out. He only can come out, and he only comes out one day a year.
Yes.
And
the rest of the time, he is gathering his energy,
He's
biding
in
his
hell.
time.
He's in hell.
He's in the cold part of hell.
No, he's in the warm part of hell, getting all toasty so that he can actually... Well, plus, okay, he has to go across the entire globe in one night.
Well, he does employ a witch.
Apparently.
And we haven't even talked about one of his most famous nowadays sidekicks.
Krampus?
Yes. Or Belschnickel. That was another name that he's gone by.
Is that...
Yeah. There was Belschnickel.
That makes me think of Dwight.
And they actually did their research, and that is the name. But yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, like Krampus is probably one of the most well-known
He's
versions of him.
become a thing a lot.
Yeah.
A big thing recently.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because more and more kids are starting to
Are terrible?
Yes. And now the problem is we don't have some crazy ethereal being to go out there and be like, oh, I'm going to hit you with some birch and put you in my bag and then hit you again or whatever, rattle some chains in your face. I don't know exactly. I might be thinking of one of the ghosts of Christmas, whatever. Past, present, future. I don't remember. The ghost of Krampus past or something. I don't know.
Ghost of Krampus past?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of made its way back, and it could be like just to try to shake up or change up the whole Christmas idea and all that kind of stuff. And there's been a movie about it, and I don't know if that's any good. I saw some trailers, and then I was like, this might not be a very good movie, and I never saw it. And I think I might be right about it. It might not be a very good movie.
This was this thing, and I saw some stuff about it, and it looked like crap, so I'm good.
The problem is, like, everything just kind of, like, burst into popularity. And it was just another, like, it seemed like it was another avenue of somebody looking for profit. And yeah, I get it. That's how it is. That's how Santa became a figure for Christmas. It was profit off of the popularity.
Yeah.
So again, they're probably doing the same thing with Krampus. And it's kind of making a thing I'm sure we're going to see more about, like, the pagan side of Christmas again too, because that seems like that might be gaining some popularity.
I think it's possibly also because people have become more and more vocal about the fact that they like to be spanked.
I mean, sure, why not?
That is okay. I've seen a lot of things, a lot of people, like friends on Facebook and stuff. That
you got some interesting friends then.
You know one of them in particular who's like real big into Krampus. You did some work for them before I met you. I don't want to name names.
I think I vaguely remember.
They were in a band.
Oh.
And you did work for them. Yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of people, like, especially right now because it's, December. People are posting pictures of themselves in full Krampus costumes. And they always have the birch sticks. Yeah. And they have some people in some precarious positions in front of them. And I'm like, well, You go. Do your thing.
Sure.
I don't know.
That's not very paranormal.
That is not. I'm just saying, like, I think that might be part of it. Like,
The idea of Santa coming down a chimney is more paranormal than somebody dressing up like a goat man and spanking someone.
yeah, no, they're just in a furry outfit.
That's more in the realm of reality.
With a switch, and they're like, yeah, you get you some. I don't know. It's weird. I'm like, okay. I'm not shaming anybody. Like, I don't care. It's just there's a lot of it right now on my Facebook feed. I'm like, all right.
Merry Christmas.
Right.
Or-
Actually, it's no, because it either just happened or it's happening. But it's like, it's a different.
What's happening?
That's a terrible movie. It's a
Christmas trees were killing. That's what it was.
Krampusnacht. Krampusnacht?
Krampusnacht?
Yes.
I have no idea.
The Feast of St. Nicholas. Yes, because it's December 6th.
Oh, delicious.
Right.
Are they feasting on St. Nicholas?
Maybe. I feel like that's the only way that it should be celebrated.
Yes. Devour the flesh of the powerful. Anyway, we might take a short break here. And when we get back, we'll cover a bit of the drink.
Yeah.
At Till the Last Drop, we'd like to hear your stories, not have you become the story. So please drink responsibly.
All right. We're back.
Did you miss us?
Yeah. Don't ask that question. They might answer. So we decided that since it was the Christmas season and whatnot, what could go better with Christmas than, I don't know, maybe a glass of, maybe not a glass, let's say a mug. A mug of hot chocolate. Sounds great, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, it is.
There's reasons why it sounds great.
This time around, we made up a recipe for it. Some hot chocolate. I put
We made it up.
Well, you made the hot chocolate, but I had the main idea of like what to put in it.
You mean the liquor?
Yes. The one that I'm drinking has a little bit of some peppermint schnapps in there, and I believe you put some Irish cream in
Yes.
yours, which is interesting. There's a hint of honey in that Irish cream too, so that adds a little bit of a subtle honey flavor, I suppose.
I didn't pick up any honey flavor.
Yeah, well, the chocolate kind of makes it a little bit more. Hey, I'm chocolate.
Yeah, that's the point of cocoa.
Yeah. So anyway, like you pretty much assembled this one. So if
I
you kind of
did.
want to go into like the amount of the ingredients, I'll let you go for that one.
Oh, you want me to actually?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, because this is my cocoa recipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll drink it while you're.
So, for this particular batch, I put 2 cups of milk on the stove and brought that to a simmer, not a boil, because you don't want to scorch it.
Scorch your milk.
Yeah, no scorching of the milk. And then I took some semi-sweet Belgian chocolate bits and I melted that in a microwave-safe dish. So, nothing fancy there. Just melted it and made sure all the lumps were smooth. And then
Beat the lumps.
pretty much, yes. This is super simple. But then once the milk was just brought up to temperature, I took it off the heat and then I whisked in a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, just white sugar. And then I whisked in the melted semi-sweet chocolate. And once it was all incorporated, that was the cocoa.
Pretty good. And that's the base of it. Like for mine, I added about an ounce of peppermint schnapps. So it kind of gives it that holiday feeling, I guess. I don't know. Peppermint, Christmas, yeah, do the thing.
Candy cane.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
You put in the Irish cream and
I put in 2 glugs.
glugs.
Yes, that is the official measurement that I am going with.
Oh, okay.
I put in 2 glugs worth of Irish cream.
Okay.
Glug, glug.
I mean, sure.
You were using all the cups to measure your peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, you could have used it. It just would have had a little bit
I
of
did not
peppermint.
want peppermint in my drink.
Yeah. Now, like, did you just use it just because it was there, or did you use it based off of like what I've been saying about like chocolate milk and putting in the Irish cream?
I used it because I figured it would taste good.
Oh, okay. Well, it does. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's...
Yours tastes good too, but I'm not. I've never been a huge fan of peppermint.
Yeah.
So it...
I mean, it's pretty good. I'm not really like, oh, let's put milk with it. Or not milk. Let's put mint with it. Obviously, I want some milk with the chocolate. It makes it into hot chocolate.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not usually a big fan of like mint with chocolate all the time. So it's kind of like just as if it was the fleeting feeling of the season. So was my disposition towards putting in peppermint in this
It
drink.
was a fleeting feeling.
Yes.
Now it's gone.
Yes. I'll drink it. It's not bad in any way. This is really good. And if you're a big fan of like peppermint and chocolate, then go for it.
This is one of those drinks where, I mean, you could, if you like cocoa, and making cocoa from scratch is really easy. And it's worth it. Honestly, it tastes a little better than prepackaged, but you could also do it with a powdered packaged cocoa mix. Get your favorite powdered packaged cocoa mix and throw some liquor in there. You know, I mean,
that kind of ruins the point of putting the liquor with it, though. I mean, it seems like you're just looking for an excuse at that point. And no offense to anybody, if that be the case. I mean, it's still going to taste good.
I'm just saying, if you don't have the stuff on hand, but you want to try it, you could do it that way.
Yeah.
But yes, making your own cocoa, again, it only takes a few minutes. It's only a few short steps, and it is a million times better than powdered packaged cocoa.
Yeah.
And you can adjust, like if you like things a little less sweet, you can put less sugar. If you like things a little more sweet, you can put more sugar. You can adjust the amount of chocolate. You can use different types of chocolate if you want just a pure dark chocolate, or if you want, a milk chocolate. Again, that's going to change the level of sweetness.
Yeah. You could also add a little bit of espresso powder in there too.
Oh, yeah.
So
obviously that's going to give it some caffeine.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways that you can augment it so you can make it your own cocoa. This is just the very basic base part of it, but it's a nice little treat. And then you can add all sorts of different liquor, like there's different flavors of liquors that are out there that would work well with it. Even an orange or something like that, like an orange liqueur would potentially work with it.
Yeah, chocolate orange, that's usually a decent flavor.
Different fruit liqueurs would probably work because chocolate with a lot of fruit works. There's lots of different chocolate flavored ones. Like there's like a type of white chocolate liqueur.
Just completely omit the hot chocolate. Just do like the chocolate liqueur and some peppermint schnapps, or 100% alcohol and everything.
But then there's also like Kahlua and things like that. You could put all sorts of different liquor in there. Like I said, it just, I don't know, makes your homemade cocoa more of an adult beverage.
Yeah. And of course, there's also like the traditional ones too. Like there's the eggnogs and all that. And I mean, eggnog's fine and all. I'm not a huge fan of eggnog. So maybe at one point in time we could try it. But whether it's featured on an episode, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find some sort of egg-themed subject to talk about.
An egg-themed supernatural entity.
Yes.
The eggening.
There's eggs everywhere.
What's happening?
Those are the Christmas trees. It's kind of windy out right now.
Those are the Christmas trees?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I'm like,
the
what?
Christmas trees were killing
I was
people.
still on eggs. I'm sorry.
Egg
I was
trees.
like, how are the eggs the Christmas trees? I was very confused. My apologies.
You put the eggs on the Christmas tree. It, I don't know.
Oh,
it
God.
attracts the foxes so that it detracts the cats. That's how that works.
But what detracts the foxes?
Bloodhounds.
And then what happens when you're overwhelmed with bloodhounds?
I think in the same case of like the mongoose thing and all that, it would go to a lion, I believe.
At what point do you realize that you've really badly messed up? I mean, lions?
I think it's once you get to the poacher step, because after lions come elephants, and then it's poachers, and then it's the poachers.
And then PETA?
Yeah.
Like,
And then it's usually about that. It's just a big like step ladder of terrible occurrences.
good Lord.
So
I don't want any of that. Let's not put eggs on our tree.
yep.
Although I think it started before that. But I think eggs on the tree would be really foul by the end of the season.
Well, watch, we're now creating a new like Christmas tradition now. Like a bunch of people are going to put eggs on their tree.
There's that, I think it's German. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. But that pickle ornament where they put a pickle on the tree and whoever finds
Hide the pickle.
Yeah, that's wrong.
No, that's what they're doing. They're hiding a pickle
I
on
know,
a tree.
but that's weird because that means something else. No,
means whatever you
but
want it to mean.
there's anyways. So whoever finds it gets an extra present or something. I don't know.
The pickle present.
Yep.
You found the pickle. Now find this pickle.
Oh
Terrible.
no.
It's like a jar of gherkins. It's really just a nice
Gherkins
gift.
are good.
I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying that's the gift. The pickle prize is a jar of gherkins.
Well, I'm not opposed to this pickle prize of gherkins.
Well, pickles are delicious.
Some of them. Some of them, the skins are too irritating.
Okay. Irritating skins on these pickles.
I want my pickles to be too skinned.
Oh, well, no. That's terrible. That sounds like a bad time.
Only for the pickle.
Think of like a skinned, well, I don't know. Would it be a skinned cucumber by the time it went in there? Would it pickle the same way, or would it just turn to
You
mush
can
and break
pickle it
down?
normal, but then de-skin it before it get it.
That's just way too ridiculous.
People skin grapes for people they love. You're not willing to skin a pickle for me.
No, I'm not going to skin a pickle, and I'm not going to skin a grape. I mean, I'm not a trapper. I don't need to skin things.
Aw, you're not a veggie trapper?
No, that sounds like the easiest like job ever. It's like,
Isn't that just
I'm
a
gonna
farmer?
get you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to trap you and skin you. Turns out he's just like harvesting some potatoes. Just like the standard.
Potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get like potato pelts. However, that would be a great name.
You get potato pelts. You can go to like Applebee's or one of those places and order them, and it comes with cheese and bacon bits on it.
Yeah, but they're called loaded potato skins. But at the same time, like I want to see like a bag of fried potato skins that could be seasoned in like whatever. Let's
You
just
don't
say,
remember those chips?
I do not.
They used to have tater skin chips.
Oh, well, I guess.
And they were delicious.
But they weren't called potato pelts. And I think that would really be a good way to market. However, some people would be like, are these made with animals? Because pelts, and people still think that that's a relative term for things that we use in today's automated society. But anyway.
Automated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, forget it. That's not part of Christmas now, is it?
I don't think any of this was really Christmas.
No, we went to the drink and then it all just went downhill.
That's what happens when you drink.
Start talking about hiding pickles.
That's what happens when certain people drink.
So, anyway.
I feel like this drink was a success.
Yeah, it led to some pickle talk. So.
That's the measure of success as far as my drinks go.
That's the new gauge of how we're going to rate our drinks. Level of chance of pickle talk.
Level of picklosity.
Yeah. So
the pickle scale.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. Again, since this is gonna be coming out before the major holidays. No offense to Hanukkah. I know it's already started. We're not forgetting about you. But again, like, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. There's more in there. And
happy holidays, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, however you believe.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy and safe.
Yeah.
And you enjoy the season.
Yeah.
And stay warm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in a cold area, but we are. It's not cold yet, but it gets snowy. So
yeah, it's concerningly warm.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, if you like what we do, go ahead and check us out on Facebook. We have a Twitter that hasn't really been upkept lately. Sorry, everyone.
Tweeted.
We also have our website. And of course, you can listen to our podcasts on our website, tillthelastdrop.com. We're also on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, a lot of other podcast
Just
sources.
look for us wherever you find your podcasts.
Yep. All right.
And you can also contact us on our Facebook page.
Yes. Yes. Most of the time, I believe, we just set up WhatsApp not too long ago. So you can send messages to us that way.
Reach out to us. We usually will respond pretty quickly.
Yeah. So with that, thanks for staying till the last drop.
Have a good night. Thank you for listening till the last drop. For more paranormal experiences served up with a themed drink, check us out wherever you listen to podcasts.